Let's start in Melbourne. Where else? Where climate change craziness led to protesters super gluing themselves to a Picasso painting. Have a look. Is losing it in London as well. Let's have a look. Look at the antics of these animal rebellion protesters in Harrods, of all places, creating an almighty mess for some minimum wage worker to clean up.
More climate crazies. Hi, everybody. Auntie speaks here. What is it with the professional activist? What do you get out of this? I mean, super gluing yourself to a Picasso painting and pouring milk all over cheese and blocking traffic. What is wrong with these people?
But we've got in the UK prices soaring thanks to a number of factors, including disastrous green policies. And yet the climate change extremists are still determined to cause maximum disruption. They're blocking busy roads. And too often, as you see, the police stand by and watch. So these
prices are skyrocketing while you're protesting climate change. Have you ever looked at a climate protest? Do you notice it's a bunch of white people? And I would hazard a guess, if you went down that line, most of them are rich white people. Why? Why do I say that? Well, because only someone in a Western country could be stupid enough to block a road to protest climate change. Everybody else is worried about, food, heating their homes, getting to work. But no, you can block someone and create havoc in a society because you're afraid of climate change. Yeah? Does that sound reasonable? And number two, does it sound like you're going to change anybody's mind? I mean, seriously, talk about annoying. And not only annoying, dangerous.
Greenpeace protest at the Tory conference happened around the same time as climate change protesters glued themselves to a road close to Parliament today. 28 of the Just Stop Oil campaigners were arrested. They're calling on the government to stop the production of oil and gas in the UK.
Stop all production of oil and gas? What is our world going to run on if you just stop the production of oil and gas? I've shown this before. These are our sources of electricity in the United States. And it's very similar in the rest of the world. What do we got here? Natural gas. United States leads the world in natural gas, but Europe doesn't like natural gas because it's fracking. Even though it reduces your greenhouse gases, you little climate crazy people, but natural gas is bad. Natural gas is bad. Okay. Coal. 30.4. Nuclear, that's about the only thing that you can say is basically completely no carbon dioxide. But they don't like nuclear either. Nuclear is bad. Hydro is bad. We don't like hydro because then some fishies can't get up the stream. Oh, okay. Biomass. Yeah, trees. Yeah, let's cut down the trees and burn it like we're back in the 19th century. Other. Yeah, that's solar. So you want to shut down all oil and gas production now so that we can use what we have now, which is wind 5.5 plus 2.6. 9.1? So you basically want the entire world to freeze because more people die from cold than they do from heat. So number one, freeze and starve. Yeah. That's awesome. What's even funnier is they glued themselves to the street. Why is that funny? Do you know what makes glue? Yes, petroleum products. They could not have glued themselves to the concrete if it wasn't for oil. And you know what another huge contributor to greenhouse gases is? Concrete. These people are so moronic. They're wearing plastic vests. Nope, can't have those without oil. Let's bring up this oil chart. Here we go. Diesel, other distillates. Yeah. And other products. Yeah. That's about 20 to 30% of the barrel of oil. Do you know what that is? Everything you touch. Plastics, coatings. You walk into any hospital today, the entire hospital is run by plastics because they want disposables so we won't pass diseases. Yeah, should we bring our hospitals back to the 17th century and get rid of all plastics? Yeah? Does that sound like a good plan? Okay, let's listen a little bit to these crazies.
And I think that the West Virginia versus the EPA decision is pushing us back instead of moving us forward.
So this is really an outrageous decision. It's a real overreach by the court.
An overreach by the court? If you guys don't know, the Congress has not been able to pass any legislation around climate change in the United States. Why? Because the population doesn't like it, okay? So what did the Democrats do? Well, they decided they don't need the consent of the governed. They can just use the bureaucratic state and pass by fiat all of these rules. Well, the Supreme Court did the same thing they did in Roe. They looked at the Constitution and said, you know what? There is nothing in the Constitution that says that you can legislate carbon dioxide. That's what we breathe out. Hi. Yes. And they said, and if you do, if you think that you do, then you need to pass it by the will of the people through Congress. You can't have a bureaucratic state that can take a natural element like CO2, natural compound, it's not an element, and regulate it. That's like regulating us breathing.
Climate change is shortening lives. Climate change is costing us, and this is only going to make it worse.
You know, I come from a town where the EPA has had to protect our citizens in Tacoma, Washington from copper smelters, and I depend on the EPA to protect us from every form of pollution.
These people are literally the dumbest people on the face of the earth. Shortening lives. Climate change is shortening lives. I'd like the citation, please. There has been study after study after study. The IPCC admits that more people die of cold than warmth. And costing us, really? Your climate change agenda is what's costing us. You hurt the poor. You don't hurt the rich people. The rich people can pay $7 a gallon for gas. And what you don't realize is it's not the gas at the pump that matters the most. It's the gas that goes into the truck. It's the gas that goes into the tractor. It's the gas that goes into the mead, the cornmeal that feeds the cows, so that when that poor person walks into the grocery store, everything is more expensive and she can't feed her children anymore. Now, who cares about the poor and what is it really costing us? And pollution, really, CO2 is not pollution. It is a natural compound in our atmosphere. Without it, we would be an iceberg. There would be no warmth. Okay, and I'm gonna link at the end here all the facts you could ever want to know about CO2, all the science behind CO2. Okay? So you people are crazy. It is not pollution, and you calling it pollution just shows your ignorance.
I am from Santa Rosa, California, and in 2017 we had the most devastating wildfire in California's history at the time. It burned over 5,000 structures, it took 22 lives, and caused billions of dollars of damage. And it's even more discouraging that the court today has decided not to take up climate change as a serious issue for our government.
Really? Are you really scared? Because there's forest fires? Probably because you saw a chart like this. This is a super, super scary chart. Isn't that scary? Look at that trend. Oh my God. That is so scary. I cannot believe how many forest fires we have. That's really strange. Why does it start in 1980? Oh, this is why. Because they want to show you a trend. There is no trend in forest fires. Forest fires used to be really, really, really bad before we had forest management. Basically, the entire forest would burn. Now we only have bad fires in California because they won't allow the management that should be done in the California forests. They don't allow controlled burns. They don't allow us to touch nature. That's why you have massive wildfires, not because of climate change. Could we get rid of the stupidness?
Term state of the climate, the very immediate impacts that polluters are having on the lives of people, and in particular Black and brown people and low wealth people, it makes me feel sick.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You make me feel sick. That someone could be as stupid as you and live on the planet makes me sick. You are hurting poor communities. And I'm not a racist like you. I don't care if they're black, brown, white, blue, or gray. Poor people are poor people no matter their color. You are hurting them. Not the oil, not the gas. You are hurting them. Yeah. You disgust me.
Columbus Day, and now more appropriately named Indigenous Peoples Day. It's important that we recognize Indigenous people every day, but especially on days like this.
Oh, I get it. I get it. I was wondering why the hell are there all these protests all of a sudden? It's because it was Columbus Day. So we have to, do sage smoke and get a bunch of white people around banging a drum and talking about the stolen land and the oil that's being produced on the stolen land. This video is getting too long, but 3 or 4 of those clips were, you're on stolen land. We can't have anybody drilling on stolen land. Everybody's land is stolen at this point. Get over it. That's the way of the world. Okay, guys. Climate crazies. Just love them. Just love them. Just what do we do with them? You want to live like the Indians? There's a forest over there. We'll give you a hut and some firewood and you go for it. And hand over your plastic cell phones before you go over there. Yeah, no mochaccino, frappuccino for you. No Starbucks. No. But you probably will have to kill animals to survive because, modern farming, all they use is oil. Yeah, so good luck with that. I'd love to see a bunch of you guys try to live like the Indians in the 1700s. I'd love it. Let's see how that works. So guys, comment below. What do you think of these craziness? What do you think of these people? Pass it on, like, comment, and share. I'll see you in the next one.